Hey everybody, from Brewers Spring Training in Phoenix, Arizona. Jeff Hem with you once again. Pleased to be joined by Matt Arnold, Senior Vice President and General Manager for the Sounds parent club, Milwaukee Brewers. Matt, we are at that point, I feel like, in the spring where the season feels close, but you guys still have some decisions to make and a little bit more to get to the end of spring training. Take us into the mind for you right now of what's on the horizon for you guys as a group leading up to Brewers and Sounds opening day.
Yeah, a lot of fun conversations, also a lot of tough conversations. We've had to move some guys out of camp. Also, it's a good problem to have in some ways. A lot of players that are very talented, certainly ones that can impact us this year in the big leagues. A lot of those players are going to be in Nashville. We know that. We had a lot of them help us last year. I think it was upwards of 50 plus players. I think we had 17 different guys impact our rotation last year. 12 different guys get a save, so a lot of the guys come through Nashville, and you guys do a tremendous job getting them ready to help us in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's interesting. Opening day as a day is a big deal, and people, for good reason, make a big deal out of it. But you got to plan for 162, not for one. So you just mentioned some of the depth that gets needed. How do you guys go into a season trying to be mindful of the long haul?
Yeah, honestly it's a big credit to our coaches and our scouts. I think we have to spend a lot of minutes in the off season signing players. We want to try to bring in the best talent we possibly can. Like I said, we've had to make some tough decisions early in camp of guys who aren't going to make the team. That those decisions are going to continue to get even harder as we get closer to the end of camp. But look, I think that's part of being a championship caliber team, is having that type of pedigree in your system, and we just have to continue to build that type of depth to help us win a championship.
You know, fans in Nashville think of the Sounds of the last couple of years. They look at what you guys have done in Milwaukee with just phenomenal win totals and regular postseason appearances, and so much of it is homegrown. I mean, Terang and Frelick and Mitchell, and the list goes on and on. How proud are you guys as a group of not just what you've accomplished at the major league level, but who you've accomplished it with?
Yeah, no, it's a great point, Jeff. I think one of the things that we spend so many minutes on here is just scouting and player development, and just making sure that all those guys have the resources they need. From my perspective, it's just whatever we can do to help. But certainly when you see guys, especially when they're young and you sign them at a very young age, whether they're international players or they come through the draft, it's a really cool thing, because you get to know the player, you get to know their family, and then when they get to the big leagues, you get to meet, you get to see all of it come together. And again, it's a rocky road along the way. So when they get there, it's an awesome thing. And again, to have that type of partnership with our scouting staff, our player development group, and then obviously you guys in Nashville, it's really seamless along the way.
Sounds fans this time of year always ask us, how's the team going to be? What are we looking at for this year? And obviously the names are still getting kind of situated to a degree with rosters, but where do you guys feel you are from a depth standpoint?
Yeah, look, I think there are a lot of ways to look at it. I think certainly there were tough losses this offseason. I think with guys like Devin Williams, obviously Willy Adames, huge impact on our team for a number of years. But again, we had the same thing last year going into it with those types of expectations and the challenges that we had to face when you lose somebody like Corbin Burns, as an example. And so, again, we've had to continue to overcome the odds here for a long time. We like being the underdogs. That's totally okay with us. And again, we won the division by 10 games last year, and we're looking to do the same thing this year again.
The other part that's impressive is, in addition to the homegrown talent, the Brewers seem to have sort of the market cornered on how you can identify guys from the outside, bring them in, and they become such key contributors. I mean, you think of the last couple. Jared Koenig, for example, was a Sound early last year. Took on a lot of big innings for you guys last year. Tobias Myers emerging after you guys had him in the organization for a couple years. Now he's like a lock in the rotation. What is the key to finding the right fit for the guys who weren't drafted or signed by the Brewers originally?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, again, our scouts that are identifying the talent that's there, but also it's our staff and it's the environment like Nashville that you guys do just a wonderful job providing us with the resources that we need to make sure that they have everything they need to be successful. And then you see somebody like a Tobias Myers who overcomes so many things to become an integral part of our rotation. Like you said, Jared Koenig, all the guys that have come through, especially the young players that we've drafted, especially just having those kinds of environments really, really matter for us.
What is exciting for you personally at this time of year, and what when you're putting head to pillow is always on. Oh man, makes you a little nervous this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I don't spend a lot of time sleeping, but I would say, honestly, it's just being around the group. I love being around spring training because you have everyone in the same location all at once. Like, just downstairs now, I'm talking to Pat Murphy for 1 minute, and the next minute, our entire international scouting staff is here for the moment, and so I get to spend minutes with those guys, and just you don't get to see them very often. And our amateur scouts are going to be in here next week, and just to be around all of these people and all of our coaches at once is a really special time of year for us.
It should be a great season ahead. We look forward to it, and it's not that far away.
It's not. Here we are.
Fun
ready
time
to go.
of year.
Ready to go.
All right, Matt Arnold from the Brewers joining us here from Phoenix, Arizona for Brewers Spring Training.